again, friends. Baltmatrix here, and today we're taking a look at yet another Transformers War for Cybertron repaint. Well, from the Siege line, that is, and that's Red Alert. I picked this figure up over at thebigbadtoystore.com. I picked him up and something else that will, well, we'll talk about that at another point. So, what is Red Alert? Why, Red Alert is a repaint and slight retool of our boy Siege Sideswipe. So, let's get him out of the box and take a look. I've got to give Hasbro credit. They have nailed the look of Red Alert here. The white plastic works incredibly well. The red is beautiful, a beautiful red color. Black, really nice. And the head sculpt is spot on. There's nothing else I can say about it. It's just a super solid looking Red Alert figure. Now, I would have loved Red Alert to have his shoulder mounted missile launcher, but he does come with two accessories. The first being his gun, which, bear with me for a second, I have to fold open the directions again. It is called the Particle Beam Circuit Welder. And a pair of police lights. Now remember I mentioned the white? It is really good, but it's very strange because the paint for the shoulders, or the white of the shoulders, and the outer portions that form the car are a different color white than what makes up the arms and the thighs, which is weird. I mean, it's not bad or anything, it's just odd. That's probably due to the way the parts were cast, and, well, if you've ever tried to mix the same color white from the hardware store, it's next to impossible. Now, the accessories do combine thusly. You simply plug the lights into the stock or the shoulder butt of the rifle, and you get a rescue axe. Specifically, this is called the Particle Beam Circuit Welder, which is the same thing that it's called in gun form, though the directions call this the axe mode. Red Alert's posability is exactly the same as that of Sideswipe. Head is on a ball joint and can look up and down pretty well. Shoulders have a hinge for in and out movement and 360-degree rotation. Swivel at the upper arm. 90-degree bend at the elbow. Fists do not swivel, but they move in and out for the transformation. Torso swivel. Ball joint. Hinge in the leg, hinge in the hip for forward and back movement. Can do the splits. Very limited somewhat limited thigh swivel. 90-degree bend at the knee. And ankle tilts. Yay! Whether you like repaints or not, Red Alert is a solid figure, and this mold continues to impress. Now, I know there is going to be one more version of this mold coming out as a black version or a Generation 2 comic version of Sideswipe. I don't know if we're going to see anything else using this mold. However, I would like to see maybe a heavy retool be Sunstreaker. Actually, no, now that I think about it, I'd rather have an all-new figure, maybe in the next War for Cybertron line, be Sunstreaker as opposed to this mold. Anyway, I think this figure is pretty good in robot mode, and it just continues to reinforce how good the Siege line has been, except for Springer. Having the two Lamborghinis side by side, you can see that the white of the limbs is different, so the arms and the thighs are different, but what also is different are the legs. The scuffing or battle damage that is shown in the legs for both figures is completely different, which I appreciate greatly. Red Alert's transformation is exactly the same as Sideswipe's. Start off by folding up the fists, take the entire chest and fold it up over the robot head, flip down the little, what was his abdomen, put the arms straight out, reach inside the chest and fold out the flaps that will be the doors in vehicle mode, put the arms down again, fold the elbows 90 degrees, and then rotate everything into the body of the vehicle mode, like so. Come down to the shins, open up the shins by folding the doors that are the shins out. Next, take the legs, sandwich them together, and then we want to reach inside just underneath the knees and push out these sections that will go behind the robot legs. Then we can fold up the feet into the legs, turn the hips around 180 degrees, fold the feet or the lower legs up, then close the side panel doors on either side and close up the shins again. And last but not least, detach the light bar from the battle axe and plop it down on top. Doesn't really matter which way it goes, it's symmetrical. And there we go. I maintain that this is an absolutely excellent looking alt mode, and the new paint works pretty well. The red stripe on the side I know is an homage to the original character and figure, but it just feels a little bit out of place because there's nothing on the back of the figure that it ties into. Maybe if the tail lights were actually painted, or if there was a red stripe going along the back like that, it would feel a little bit better. Sitting next to the original Sideswipe figure, I'm kind of struck at just how different both of these figures feel in vehicle mode. I think, personally, that the Sideswipe works better in this alt mode simply because there's more detailing going on. Specifically, you look at the intakes here at the top and the little black going on up here at the top. That works better for me. And I actually think that the effect going along up top here works better as opposed to what we have here, which is nothing. From the sides, both figures I think work fine. They do share that stripe going back, but again, I think it works better on Sideswipe. Overall, Red Alert is fine. It works perfectly well and is a great repaint / retool of Sideswipe, but in alt mode, I think there could be just a bit more paint, or at least or at least paint to differentiate the two characters from one another. I think this is a fine figure. I think that the Red Alert is perfectly good. It's a fun figure, rolls well, and looks good in both modes. That being said, however, I'm sure that this is going to be a peg warmer. I am sure that this guy is going to be on the shelves just sitting there, like Chromia and Ironhide are in my area. In fact, fellow reviewer Pios says where he lives, Red Alerts are everywhere, and it's the only thing on the shelves, which is a shame, because I think this is a really good figure. It could just use a bit more paint in alt mode. Maybe I'll send this over to Grimlockamus. Lord knows I've got enough things to send to him at this point anyway. So folks, let me know what you think of this figure down in the comments. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you next time.